Have you ever woken up on a summer afternoon feeling tired, parched, with your heart beating faster than normal? And did you know that you could be facing a very dangerous risk without even being aware of it? In recent years, summer temperatures have been breaking records, not just making us uncomfortable, but silently pushing people over 65 closer to the risk of stroke. A study in America shows, with just a few degrees of increase outdoors, stroke cases in older adults skyrocket. The frightening part is, many people do not recognize the initial signs, thinking, a little heat is normal. The reality is, as we age, the body no longer regulates its temperature as well. The cardiovascular system responds slower, the sense of thirst diminishes, and some medications, unintentionally, cause the body to lose water even faster. All these factors combine during the sweltering summer, and sometimes just one afternoon without enough water or sitting too long outdoors is enough to be dangerous. In this video, you will discover 5 unexpected reasons why older adults are more prone to strokes in the summer, and more importantly, how to prevent them with incredibly simple actions. Be sure to watch until the end, because the 5th reason is something nearly every older adult experiences, but is completely unaware of. And if you recognize it early, you will not only avoid a stroke, but you could save a loved one this summer. Are you ready? Let us get started right now. Warning 1: dehydration thickens blood and increases stroke risk. On scorching summer days, the feeling of thirst often comes later than you think. Especially if you are over 65, your sense of hunger or thirst is no longer as sharp. You might be sitting on the porch, sweating profusely, yet still thinking, I am fine. But inside your body, a silent chain of changes has begun, and it could lead to a stroke within just a few hours. When your body lacks water, your blood begins to thicken. This makes your heart work much harder to pump blood throughout the body. When you are young, the cardiovascular system can compensate better. But in old age, when vessel walls are weaker and the heart has endured many years, thickened blood becomes a dangerous burden. A burden that so many older adults do not even know they are carrying. Especially on days with high temperatures, you not only lose water through sweat, but also salt, electrolytes, and circulatory volume. As that happens, blood becomes thicker, making it easier for clots to form. And the scary thing is, this blood clot can travel through the bloodstream, then suddenly block a vessel leading to the brain, causing a stroke. Linda, a 68-year-old woman living in Texas, once thought that just sitting in the shade was safe enough. That day, she tended her garden for about an hour, then felt a little dizzy. No fever, no fall, no distinct headache. But just a few hours later, she was admitted to the hospital for a mild stroke. The doctor was clear. The main cause was dehydration, leading to concentrated blood and a clot. The sad thing is, many people never hear this warning. They think strokes only come from high blood pressure or from serious underlying conditions. But dehydration, something so simple, is the dangerous bridge that few people notice. The good news is, this is completely preventable. You do not need to wait until you are thirsty to drink. Create a habit of taking small, regular sips, especially on hot days. You can keep a small water bottle right next to the sofa or set a gentle timer on your phone every 2 hours to remind yourself to drink. If you are taking diuretics or have a heart condition, consult your doctor for the right amount of water, because everyone's needs are different. Another little tip: pay attention to the color of your urine. If it is dark or has a strong odor, that is a sign you need to hydrate immediately. And if you sweat a lot during the day, replenish with a beverage containing light electrolytes, like coconut water or a diluted oral rehydration solution. You do not have to wait until you feel thirsty to start taking action. Summer arrives without warning, but you can be prepared with just a bottle of water, a gentle reminder, and a little proactivity. Because sometimes the smallest thing is what protects your life. Warning 2: high temperatures cause sudden spikes in blood pressure. Have you ever wondered why on extremely hot days, your body feels tired faster, your heart beats quicker, and your head feels like it is spinning, even if you are just sitting still? That is not just a feeling. It is a clear sign that your blood pressure is fluctuating. And if you are over 65, each fluctuation like that could be a warning sign of stroke risk. Many people believe blood pressure only rises with stress, salty food, or not taking medication regularly. But in reality, the outdoor temperature is also a powerful factor that changes the blood pressure inside your body. When it is hot, your blood vessels dilate to release heat. However, if the body is dehydrated or its regulatory reflexes are poor, as in older adults, this vessel dilation becomes uncontrolled. The heart will have to beat faster to compensate, and the nervous system must activate to keep blood pressure stable. But things do not always stay stable as we hope. Just by stepping outside in the midday sun, gardening for 15 minutes without a hat, or cleaning the house before the air conditioning has cooled it, your body can go into immediate thermal shock. The sympathetic nervous system will trigger an emergency response. Heart racing, blood pressure soaring, as if you are in a fight for survival. And at that exact moment, if you already have high blood pressure, fragile blood vessels, or are taking heart medication, a stroke can happen very quickly and without warning. The story of Eugene, 72 years old, living alone in California, is a classic example. He had a history of high blood pressure, but controlled it well with medication. One summer afternoon, he pushed his trash can out to the curb and forgot his hat. The temperature was around 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Just a few minutes later, he felt dizzy, his hands trembled, and his speech started to slur. Luckily, a neighbor noticed in time and called for an ambulance. Doctors confirmed he had suffered a mild stroke due to a sudden blood pressure spike in the high heat. Not everyone is as fortunate as Eugene. The danger is you do not feel your blood pressure rising until it has already caused damage. And older adults, who already have a weaker thermoregulation system, find it even harder to detect these silent changes early. You might just feel a little tired. Your hands might shake slightly, or you might sweat a lot. But that could be when your body is straining against a massive pressure surge in your circulatory system. So what can you do? First, avoid going outdoors during peak sun hours, usually from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. If you must go, wear a wide-brimmed hat, light clothing, and walk slowly, one step at a time. Indoors, maintain a stable temperature using a fan or air conditioning. Always have a thermometer to check the weather. And if you are on blood pressure medication, log your readings daily, especially during prolonged heat waves. You should also ask your doctor if you notice unusual symptoms: dizziness, a racing heart, shortness of breath, or fatigue after being in the sun. It might just require a small medication adjustment, but it could also be the moment you need another layer of protection. Summer is when nature is vibrant, but it is also when your body is most vulnerable. And blood pressure, though silent, is the fastest bridge to a stroke that strikes without warning. Do not wait for a crisis to realize it. Start by listening to your body, to every heartbeat, to every drop of sweat, because sometimes that is the most precious warning bell for you. Warning 3, heart medications affect the ability to regulate heat. You might be taking your heart medication dutifully every day, the medicine that has been with you for years, helping to stabilize your blood pressure, heart rate, and reduce complication risks. But few people know that these very familiar pills can weaken your body's ability to regulate its temperature, especially during the summer. And if you are not careful, you could become more susceptible to heat stroke than anyone else. Some heart medications like diuretics, beta blockers, or ACE inhibitors can alter how your body manages water and heat. For example, diuretics make you urinate more, which means your body loses water faster. Meanwhile, beta blockers slow your heart rate, which helps reduce the load on your heart, but it also slows down the heat-releasing response when your body gets too hot. In other words, when it is scorching outside, your body needs to cool down fast, but your medication is slowing that process down. This might sound alarming, but it does not mean you should stop your medication. However, you do need to understand what is happening and adjust your lifestyle to adapt more safely. Charles, 70 years old, living in Arizona, was very disciplined with his medication. He had mild heart failure and took a diuretic every morning. One day, he went out to water his plants at 10 in the morning for only about 20 minutes. When he came back inside, he felt dizzy, his heart was racing, and he felt faint. After being hospitalized, his doctor concluded he had severe dehydration leading to reduced blood flow to the brain, a precursor to a stroke. The reason? The diuretic effect of his medication caused him to dehydrate faster than normal, and the temperature at that time had reached 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Many other older adults experience similar situations without knowing it. They feel weak, dizzy, have trouble concentrating, or a slight headache after being in the sun, but they just think it is fatigue from old age. In reality, their bodies are unable to cool down efficiently because of the effects of their medication. What you can do is not to worry, but to be proactive and adjust. First, if you are taking medications like diuretics or beta blockers, talk to your doctor about your symptoms in hot weather: dry mouth, unusual fatigue, or a racing heart. It might just require adjusting the dosage or timing to better suit the weather. Additionally, drink water regularly. Do not wait until you are thirsty. Eating water-rich fruits like watermelon, oranges, or drinking coconut water also helps balance electrolytes. Avoid going outdoors after 10 in the morning, and always bring a hat and a light jacket when you must be out in the sun. And especially, you need to understand this. Medication is for support, but it cannot replace listening to your body. Pay attention to the smallest signals, because at this age, a small difference can be a big sign. The truth is, summer is not the enemy, but if you do not know what your medication is doing inside your body, you might lose your last line of defense before a stroke occurs. If you are still watching and find this information helpful, drop the number 3 in the comments below to let me know. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe and ring that bell so you will not miss new videos. Your support helps us continue creating more helpful and inspiring content. Warning 4. An older person's body regulates heat less effectively. When you were young, you could run under the sun, sweat profusely, and then step into a cool room and everything would be fine again. But after you pass age 65, your body no longer responds that quickly. You might just be sitting on your porch at noon, not moving much, but still feel flushed, exhausted, or dizzy. That is not because you are weaker. It is because the temperature regulation mechanism inside you has quietly changed. The human body has a magnificent internal thermostat. When the temperature rises, it dilates blood vessels in the skin to release heat and stimulates sweat glands to cool down. But as you get older, these biological reflexes become slower and less effective. The sweat glands are less active, the ability to dilate blood vessels weakens, and the sensation of hot and cold is not as sharp as it used to be. Simply put, your body no longer cries for help as clearly when it starts to get too hot. And that makes you more susceptible to heat stroke without even realizing it. Janice, a 74-year-old in Florida, was a very active person. She still took morning walks, tended her garden, and baked for her neighbors. But one summer while she was cooking, she noticed she was not sweating like usual. Her hands and feet started to tremble, and her vision blurred. When she was taken to the hospital, the doctor confirmed she had heat stroke simply because her body could not cool down properly. No strenuous activity, not being outdoors, just a hot kitchen, no fan, and a thermoregulation system that had weakened with time. This mechanism does not just affect how you feel, it also directly increases the risk of stroke. When the body gets too hot and cannot cool down, the internal temperature rises. This forces the heart to work harder, blood pressure to fluctuate, and blood to thicken, creating favorable conditions for blood clots to form. More dangerously, because the nervous system also responds more slowly with age, the early symptoms of a stroke like unusual fatigue, dizziness, or slurred speech can be mistaken for common exhaustion. Many people do not seek help in time, just because they think they only need to rest a little to feel better. So what can you do to protect yourself? First, understand this. Your body no longer regulates heat like it used to, so you have to do it instead. Always keep your home cool. Use a fan, air conditioning, or at least open windows to create a breeze. Avoid cooking or exercising in enclosed spaces when the outdoor temperature exceeds 85 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have to go out, bring a wet towel, drinking water, and wear a wide-brimmed hat. A useful little tip is to check your body temperature every hour if you are outdoors for a long time. A simple digital thermometer will do. If you feel stuffy, your heart is racing, or your skin is unusually dry despite the heat, consider it a danger signal. And finally, do not be afraid to rest more in the summer. Allowing yourself to slow down and listen to your body is not just a protective action. It is the wisdom of someone who understands their limits and knows how to live in harmony with them. Warning 5, less awareness of early stroke signs in hot weather. One of the most dangerous factors that makes summer strokes so unpredictable for people over 65 lies not in the weather, but in your own perception. It is the fact that you are no longer as sensitive to the initial signs of a stroke as you once were. And that can delay the golden window, the most precious time to be saved and to recover after a stroke. In younger people, when a stroke begins, symptoms like facial drooping, weakness on one side, slurred speech, or a severe headache are often very distinct, causing them or those around them to notice immediately. But in older adults, especially in hot weather, the signs are easily confused with ordinary fatigue, sunstroke, lack of sleep, or simply, I am just feeling a little foggy. Lorraine, a 76-year-old living in New Mexico, is a prime example. One summer afternoon, she felt drained, a bit sleepy, and her speech seemed slower than usual. Her daughter on a video call noticed her face looked a little different, but she just laughed. Mom probably did not get enough of a nap. When her daughter arrived at the house over an hour later, she had lost consciousness. Doctors said that if they had detected it 30 minutes earlier, her chances of recovery would have been much higher. This is something many older adults and their families do not realize. During the summer, fatigue and fogginess should not be taken lightly, because high temperatures not only alter cardiovascular function, but also affect the central nervous system, making your mind more prone to a dazed state with slower reactions or speech. And that could be the very first warning bell. Furthermore, some people who have had a mild stroke before find it even harder to recognize new signs. Because when old damage already exists in the nervous system, the body does not react as clearly as the first time. This causes the patient and their loved ones to let their guard down and miss the best time for intervention. So what should you do to avoid falling into this perception blind spot? First, remember the FAST principle: face, arm, speech, time. Even with a small sign like speaking slower, a slight facial droop, or not being able to hold a glass steady, treat it as a situation that needs help. In the summer, increase your connection with loved ones. Make daily video calls. Observe their facial expressions and voice, because sometimes you cannot perceive your own changes, but a loved one can. You can also keep a daily health log during hot weather: body temperature, heart rate, your level of alertness after a nap. If you notice a clear change, treat it as a signal and contact your doctor. Most importantly, do not downplay small abnormalities, because at this age, something small can lead to something big. Remember, time is life during a stroke, and a delay in recognition, even just 15 minutes, can be the line between recovery and permanent disability. We have just gone through 5 silent but extremely dangerous reasons why summer becomes the riskiest time for people over 65. From dehydration thickening the blood, high temperatures causing blood pressure spikes, to the side effects of heart medication, the decline in thermoregulation, and finally the poor recognition of early stroke signs. Each factor seems small, but when they combine on scorching hot days, they can turn a peaceful afternoon into a life or death emergency. And perhaps the scariest thing is not the stroke itself, but not realizing that it is on its way. But from that, we also see something more important. You are not helpless against the summer. On the contrary, you can absolutely protect yourself with very simple actions. Drink water regularly. Rest in a cool place. Know the medication you are taking. Observe your body every day, and call a loved one when something feels not like usual. Because no one understands your body better than you do, and no one can take better care of you than when you proactively listen to yourself. Getting older does not mean being fragile. Old age is a profound chapter where you understand your limits and also understand that every small precaution today will shape your health for summers to come. The good news is, it is never too late to start making a change. No expensive equipment needed, no doctor by your side 24/7. Just awareness, a little correct knowledge, and love for your own life. So today, which one will you start with? A water bottle placed nearby, a reminder for your children to call every afternoon, and or simply remembering the three letters FAST to recognize a stroke. Please leave a comment with the number 1 if you found today's insights helpful, or share a little tip you have used to get through the summer heat safely. Your advice could help one more person, maybe a neighbor, an old friend, or a member of your own family. Thank you for spending your time with me. I wish you a safe, healthy, and fulfilling summer, and I will see you in the next video.